actually, whoever joined the Zoom link, the class it will close in 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, again you can rejoin. Okay, you again rejoin the same class. So after 40 minutes, the class, the Zoom session is over. Rejoin the same link. Okay, this class will be continuing up to 2 hours. Okay, so in this topic, today is the mega class. Today I will cover all the basic and some advanced topics in the JavaScript. Please mute everyone. Please mute everyone. Okay, so that's why nobody will disturb. Please mute everyone. Okay, so if you these are all topics I will cover in today's class. These are the most of the topics covered in the JavaScript. Okay. Okay, let me start. First thing, what is the job skill? Yeah. No, please mute everyone. My voice is clear or any disturbance?
Yes, clear, sir.
Clear, right? If anyone problem, please let me know. I think my voice is clear, right? Please mute everyone. Okay. Okay, I'm starting the class. So today class is just going 2 hours. All the topics will cover in this today class. First thing. So what is the JavaScript? Where can we write? So JavaScript is a programming language which can be understood by the browser. Okay, JavaScript is a programming language which can understand the browser. What are the browsers? You know, Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer. Those are the browsers. You know, right? Everyone open the website link in the. Everyone open the website in the browsers. Everyone open the website in the browsers. That means the websites have some JavaScript also along with HTML. There is a JavaScript also. So all the website have the JavaScript and HTML. So those websites we are opening the browsers. For example, if you open the Google, if you type the google.com, right? We are typing the google.com. So that means google.com is a website. It was built using the HTML and JavaScript. It was built using the HTML and JavaScript, right? So the JavaScript is a programming language which can understand by the browsers. Okay, that is JavaScript. Now, where can we write the JavaScript? We can write JavaScript in three places. We can JavaScript write in 3 places. The first place, we can write JavaScript between the script tags. The HTML here, the script tags. Okay, for script tag, we need to give the attribute like type is equal to text slash. Type is equal to text slash JavaScript. And in between the JavaScript, in the script tags, we can write our JavaScript code, right? We can write a JavaScript code. Let's see. Let's run. So now we write the JavaScript. So where can we see the output? We need to open this file in the browser. Okay, let's see. Open in the browser. Just a minute. So this is the file, right? I am opening this file in the browser, in the Google Chrome. So I write the code, print something in the console. So if you inspect here, we got the console. In the console, we got the output. So hi, I write the hi. So we can write JavaScript between the script tags. So we can write JavaScript between the script tags. That is for first way. Otherwise, we can JavaScript in separate file. For example, I write this console.log in separate file. Okay, and save. Now I want to link this file into HTML file. So we need to write script text and we need to do the SRC. We need to part of that file. We write the JavaScript in the test1.js file. In this file, we write my JavaScript code. Now I want to link this file to HTML file. So I need to do the part of that file. So test1.js, because this JS file and this HTML file is the same folder. That's why they like with the file name. So this is the other way. So we can write the JavaScript between the script tags, or we can write the JavaScript in separate file with the extension .js, and we can link that file into the HTML. Let's see. So see, I give a test.js, but I write the code in the test1.js. So the file is not visible. So if we use test1.js, then see. So see, then I got the output. So you can write the JavaScript between the script tags, or you can write the in the other files. We can write in a separate file. We need to link that file into the HTML. So this is first thing. So what is the JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language which can understand by the browsers. Where can you write the JavaScript? We can write JavaScript between the script tags, or we can write JavaScript in a separate file with the extension .js, and we link that file into HTML. So in this way we can write JavaScript. So this is the first topic. Second topics. What are the variables? What are the constants? Let's see. All programming language is stored in the memory. All our programming language were stored in the memory. Okay. Any data is stored in the memory. Okay. In that memory, we are giving a name. That is called a variable name. For example, if I declare a variable like var x, okay, if I declare a variable like var x, that means create a location in our memory, in our computer memory with the name x. Create a memory in our storage location with the name x. Now the variable x is the variable name. So what is the variable name? So somebody asked me, what is the variable name? Then you need to answer variable is the storage location. Then you need to answer variable is the storage location. Okay. So if we give the var x, that means we are declaring the variable with the x. So somebody asked how to declare a variable in the JavaScript. We declare the variable the JavaScript using the var keyword, and we give a name. So you know x is the JavaScript variable. Now x is the variable. Variable is the data storage location. Variable is the data storage location. Location name. Okay, in the memory we have the given name with the name x. So if we write var x, that means we are declaring the variable x. This is called variable declaration. This is called variable declaration. Now we need to some data into that memory. So now I assign the value 2. So that means this means I am storing the value 2 in a memory with the name x. I am storing a value 2 in the memory with the name x. So this is called assigning the data to the variable. So now I told variable declaration and assigning the data to that variable. That means you create a memory with the name x and put I store the data 2 in that memory. I store that data 2 in that memory. So that is a variable declaration and assigning the variable. So var x, this is a variable declaration, x equal to 2. That means assigning the value 3. If I assign the value 5, that means it removes the 2 from the storage location and give the value 5. It removes the 2 in the variable location x from and put the value 5. So here this is called the variable declaration. This is called assigning the value to the variable. Okay, this is the variable. The variable is a data storage location. So we give a name. So now that is a variable. Now going to constant. What is the constant? I declare the constant using the const and x. Okay, this is also like memory location, but this memory location we cannot change the value. Once we assign the value, we cannot change the value. Once we assign the value, we cannot change the value. That means we cannot separately define. We cannot do const x declaration of the constant in one line and assigning the value in the separate line. For example, I declare the constant, assigning the value 2. Now let's see output. Let's see output. Okay. See the output is error because we cannot with constant declaration is one line and assigning the value in other line. It gives the error, so we cannot do that way. The declaration of the constant as an assigning the value must be in the same line. Declaration of the constant as assigning the value to the constant must be in the same line. Okay. So then the value of the constant is the 2. Then the value of the constant is the 2, right? So Oh, then what is the difference between a variable and constant? So once we define a value to a constant, we don't need to change the value. Just a minute, somebody is typing. Sorry, let me know my book. Yeah. Anyone want? Okay. Yeah. You can unmute yourself now. You can unmute yourself now. Okay. Any doubt? Any
No,
doubts?
sir.
Any doubts? No doubts, right? So this is the constant. So what is the constant? Once we assign the value, we cannot change that value. So if we assign the value again 5, if we assign the value again 5, it gives the error. See, assignment to constant variable. That means once we assign a variable, once we assign a variable to constant, we cannot reassign the value. Only one value we need to assign to the constant. Okay. But for in the case of variable, where x equal to where y is equal to 5, okay, and y equal 10. So initially assign the value 5, later change the value 10. Tell us what is the value of y. Value of y is the 10. What is the value of y? Let's see. So value of y is 10. That means you can reassign the value to a variable. So variables, what's the difference between the constant and variable? For the constant, we need to assign only one value. We cannot assign the another value. But in the variable, we can assign the multiple values. Okay? That is the difference between the variable and constant. I think you understand what is the variable, what is the constant. Okay, now go to the concept of the data type. Now go to the concept of the data types. What are the data types? Data types means, okay, data types means, for example, here I have a variable x equal to 10. So here I am assigning some data to the variable x. So what type of data you are assigning, that is called the data type. The type of data you are assigning to the variable is called a data type. The type of data you are assigning the variable, that is called the data type. Here we assign the value 10. Here 10 is the number. So now what is the number? What's the data type we are assigning now? Number. Right? In this way, there are multiple data types. There are multiple data types. Those are called string, number, boolean, string, number, boolean, okay, string, number, boolean, undefined, null. These are called the primitive. What are the primitive? These are called primitive. Okay, and we have the other types, non-primitive. Non-primitive array. Non-primitive array is like object, and something are non-primitive. Okay, non-primitive. So now I have explained what are the primitive type, now what are the non-primitive type. The data types which cannot be mutable. That means we cannot change the value. We cannot replace the value. We cannot change the value. So the value which are immutable means we cannot change the value. We cannot replace the value. For example, here x equal to 10. Right? Again, if we assign the value 20, here it means we are not changing the value. Here we are replacing the value. We are removing the 10 and assigning the new value. So we cannot changing the value. So some data types are immutable. Those are called primitive data types. It has only one term every time. It has only one value. Here, number. We can assign every time only one number. So now come to the data type, string data type. So x equal to, for example, we do x equal to hello. Here, hello is the string data type. Okay, if I give x equal to 2, here 2 is the number data type. If I give x is equal to true, here x is the type of x is equal to x is the boolean. Okay, let's see. Okay. So if you want to measure, if you want to type of the value, any type of the data, use type of function. Use the type of operator. Okay. So what the type of, it is the number. See, number. If you give the string here, now what is data? Actually, this is not a number. It is between a double quotes. Then the data type is a string. Let's see. So the data type is a string, right? Now if you give the true, now the data type is the boolean. Okay. The data type is the boolean. Okay. Now if I assign if you declare the value, we are not assigning any value. Then what is the value of type of x? Let's see. Type of x is undefined. So if you declare the value, we cannot assign any value. That is type of x is the undefined. Okay. Type of null is the object. Just remember, if anyone asks what is the type of null is, the empty object. Okay. So now you understand the string, number, boolean, undefined number. All is called the only one value, not non-primitive. They are called the array. So array we can write like this. Okay, like 2, 4, 5, 6. So here we have one variable x, but we have multiple values. So then it is non-primitive. If any variable has only one value, that is a primitive. The data has the multiple value, that is the non-primitive. Okay. If you have one value, that is the primitive data types. If you have multiple value, then that is a non-primitive. Okay. Non-primitive data types, non-primitive data types are mutable. Mutable means what is the mutable? We can change the value. That means we can use the new value. For example, I add the new value like using this function. Now control.log of x. So along with the 2, 4, 5, 6, I add the new value 7. See. So you are thinking now we change the value. We are not replacing the 2, 4 existing value. We are not remove the existing value. We just add the new value. That means we can change the value. So non-primitive are the mutable. Non-primitive are the mutable. Now coming to the point array. Array is the sequence of storage location. What is a variable? Variable is only one storage location. But the array is the sequence of storage location. We create the storage location like x of 0. Okay, like x of 0, x of 1, x of 2. So it creates the memories like this. So for every value, it creates the memory. Okay, that is called the array. So what is the array? Array is the sequence of storage location. In the array, we have the two names. One is the elements. What are the values in the array? Those are called the elements. Here 2, 4, 5, 6. These are the elements of the x. There is other name. There is other index. So element is what is the element? Values in the array. Okay. We have there is index. What is the index? Index is position of the elements. Okay. So we have the 2, 4, 5, 6 are the elements. Now coming to the position. What is the position of the 2? Actually, the array starts from the 0. So now the position of the 2 is 0. The position of the 4 is 1. The position of 5 is 3. Okay, that is called index. Index position. For example, I have the hello 2, 5 something. So here the position of the book. What is somebody asked what the position of the element book? Then we will calculate 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So, for example, if we take what is the position, third position in the X array? What is the third position in the? What is the element in the third position X array? Let's see. It is book, right? It is book. So that means hello 2, 5, book 10 are the elements. The position starts 0, 1, 2, 3. The position of the book element is the 3. So this is all related to the array. Now the type of the array is the object. Okay. Now, so now we have the so variable have the only one value. Array is a sequence of the storage locations. So the array contains not only number, it contains multiple values. It contains the strings, it contains the numbers, anything it will contain. So every value is called the element. Okay. Now, object. What is the object? Object is the key value. We have for every value we have the key. The key value pairs, the set of the key value is called the object. The set of the key value is called the object in JavaScript. Okay. For example, a student. A student has the marks. For example, marks. For example, you said I want you give the marks like 10, 40, 30, 90, 80, 90, like this. So you give the values like 40, 30, 80, 100. You give the marks. This is the array, but you don't know for which subject, which value, which score, how many scores the student got. You don't. In this way, at this time, you need to refer objects. That means we use the curly brackets. Okay, we need to use the key. Key is the subject name. For example, Telugu for Telugu, for English. For example, for English. For English, he got us 30 marks. Okay. So here key is the English, value is the 30. Again, max. For the max, he got the 90. For the science, he got the 40. So here we have the key value, key value here. The set of the key value is called the object. The set of the key values are called the object in the JavaScript. Okay. So this is also non-primitive. Okay. So this is all about the data types. Let's go to jump to the other topic. Operators and expressions. Okay. For example, you know the max set. 2 plus 3 equal to 5. Right? 2 plus 2 equal to 5. This is called expression, mathematical expression. Here, plus and equal to are the operators. Here, plus equal to are the operators. So the combination of the operators is an expression. The set of the combination of the operators is given one mathematical expression. Okay, this is called expression. Here, plus and equal to are the operators. Okay, we have different types of the operators. For example, arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators means operators related to the max, like plus for the addition, minus for the subtraction. Here, this is for the multiplication. Okay, this is for the divide by. This is for the remainder. All these are the mathematical expression. Okay. For example, where x equal to 10. Okay. Control the x plus 2. Control that x minus 2. Control that x divided by 2. Control that x remainder by 2. So here we use the plus, minus, divided by. All these are the mathematical expression. Let's see what are the output. X plus 2, 10 plus 2, 12. X minus 2, 10 minus 2, 8. X by 2, 10 by 2, 8. X minus 2 are divided by remainder value. This is 0. Let's see. Right? 12, 8, 5, 0. In this way, we will do these are the arithmetic operation. We can do the arithmetic operation. We can do the maths. Okay. Also, along with this, we have the along with this we have in the arithmetic operations we have some other things like x plus minus. Plus means if you use for example where x equal to 10, if you do the control dot log x plus. Okay, what is this is nothing but the x is equal to x plus 1. This is nothing but the x is equal to x plus 1. So plus of it is means adding the one number, adding one value extra. So then what is output here? 11. Let's see. 10. Again, okay. Again, if you print this one. Again, print this one. Okay. Initial 10, next 11. So it will add in the one value to the right. Okay. This is the plus plus. If you use the minus here, minus minus. Okay, let's see. If you use the minus minus. So what is the value? 10, 9. So this is called x minus minus means x minus 1. X is equal to x minus 1. Okay. These are the arithmetical operations. Plus, minus. These are called the arithmetical operations. We have some operators called assignment operators. Okay, assignment operators. The assignment operators, we have the equal to. Okay, you know, right? Where x equal to 2. That means x is equal to 2. That means we are assigning the value 2 to the variable x. So equal to put the value into the variable. So this is equal to. There is a other thing called double equal to. Okay, double equal to means it will check either x equal to 2 or not. It will check either x value equal to 2 or not. Okay, there is another one called triple equal to. Somebody asked what is the difference between the equal to, double equal to, triple equal to. Okay. Any doubts? Somebody?
No, sir.
Right. So somebody asked what difference between equal, double equal to. If x equal to 2 means, so we assign the value. See, if the class is stopped after 40 minutes, again we join in the session. We join the Zoom again, same link. Okay, class stop. We join the same link. Okay. Okay. If x double equal to, that means it will check x value 2 or not. If x double equal to, this will check. It will check the value at the data type. It will check the value at the data type. For example, where x equal to 2 here. So if I use the x double equal to, in this case it is true. It is the true. In this case, it is correct. It is the true. Okay. Okay. For example, if I use the same value, if I use the x double equal to, this is a false, because in the first condition, in the first line, we will check the value only. Say x value 2. Here is also 2. So that is a 2. But when you use triple equal to, check the value and data type. X value q. Okay, but x is a number, value is a number. Here is the string. Data type is different. That's why we do the false. So this is the difference between the double equal to triple equal. That is okay. There is also we have the equal plus equal to. Okay, plus equal. There is nothing but the x plus 2, that is nothing but the equal to plus, sorry, x equal to plus here. Okay, equal to plus. Okay, this is nothing but the x equal to x plus 2. Okay, x is equal to x plus 2. Okay, if you use x equal to minus, that means x is equal to x minus 2. Okay. So these are the arithmetic operators, these are the assignment operators. Okay. Now we have the different data types. Number, and for example, where x equal to 2 plus 2. The output is, what is the output? The output is, let's see. The output is 4, right? So here 2 plus 2 is the 4. So we are adding the numbers. Same table, same. Now I'm adding the number. I'm adding the string. Okay. Now see, the output is 22. Here you remember one point. Only in case of plus, string will take a string. Even it is number. Okay. Because plus we can also use for the concatenation of the variable. That means, for example, where x equal to 2, so where y is equal to 10, where z equal to 12. So here we are using the x plus y. So in this we are concatenating the two variables. So we concatenate string concatenation. We are counting the number string. We are adding for concatenating. So only in case of the plus, string will be taken as the number. String will take the string only. Even this number. For example, let's say output 0. So that means if you use the plus, if there is a string, it will take a string only. That's why 2 plus 3. So 2 plus 2, 22. For 2 plus, so I must do, okay. 2 plus 2, 22. But in case of the other than plus, if you use a minus, it will take as a number. It will take as the number. So that's why 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. If people understand that, only in case of the plus, string will take as string. Even if it is the number, it will take as string. You must understand that. So in this way, you can understand the what are the, for example, 10 by hello. There is no meaning. We are divided by number with the string. We are dividing the number with the string. There is no meaning. Then what is the output? Let's see. Then what is the output? The output is that is not a number. And the output is nan. Nan means not a number. So if you do some mathematical operation with the string and number, it will give the nan. It will give the nan. It is not a number. If you 10 by 5, this is the meaning. But 10 by hello is not the meaning, right? So that's why it will the output nan. So all these topics about the operators and expressions. Okay. Now go to the conditional statements. What are the conditional statements? Every line in the program is a statement. The smallest task of the program is a statement. What is the programming? Program means we are doing some task, some list of the tasks. A single task is called a statement. For example, where x is equal to 2. This is statement. Okay. Statement was terminated by semicolon. Then y is equal to now x equal to x plus 5. There is other. This is other task. This is one task. This is one task. We have a list of this task. Every smallest task is called the statement. So this is the statement. This is one statement. So the set of in our program, there is a multiple number of the statements. Statements are terminated by the semicolon. Okay, and we can group the statement. Okay, for example, y equal to 10. Y is equal to I plus 2. So all is so here we have the 6 statements, 4 statements, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can group the statements. If you want subset of the statement, I want to group the statements like I said. Then we use the block. Then we put these 2 statements into the curly brackets. So now we separated these 2 statements. Now we separated these 2 statements as a block, right? So this is called the block of the statements. This is called the block of the statement. So some set of the statements is called the block. Okay. Some set of the statements is called the block. Okay. This is called the statements and the sum. This is a compound statement. Now go to the compound statement. This is also called compound statement. These are block statements. This is called the statements or block statements. Okay. Now go to the conditional statements. Okay, now we have to go to conditional statements. Okay, what are conditional statements? We can run some set of the statements. We can run some set of the statements based on some condition. So this is a set of the statements. You want to run the set of the statements based on some condition. For example, I want to run the set of the statements if there is a variable value y. Now I want to run the set of the statement only y is equal to 10. Only if y double equal, that means if only y value is 10, then only I want to run the statements. Else, otherwise, for example, control log y is 10. Okay. So if the y is not 10, so that means if y value 10, then run this set of the statement. Otherwise, run this set of the statements. Okay. So now y will print the y is 10. For example, if I use the y, now it will go to here because even y is the value now it will go to first time only. Even it is a string, we use double quotes, it will take string as a number, then y equal to 10. So y is the 10. So y is the 10. But if I use the y triple equal to 10, that means it's check the data type and value. Value is 10. Okay, that's fine. But the data type are different. Here y is the string. Here number. The data type are different. So if you use triple equal to, it will check the value and data type. So this condition is not satisfied. So it will go to the else condition. Go to this statement. To execute this statements. Okay, let's see. So y is not 10. That's the difference between the equal to and the triple equal to. Okay. Now, everybody understand, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, we have the switch value. Okay. So we can have one y value, one value, but we can based on the y value. So now we are telling about the if now a technical switch. Switch means we have only one value. Based on that value, we can do multiple cases. For example, so switch. Okay, switch value, and we have the case. If case is a 10, case is a 10, then do something. Okay, hi. Okay. If the case is the if y value is the 20, then please unmute all everything. Please unmute. So now there is default statement. So if y value is 10, then it will be the high. If 22, it will be in the high 22. So only one variable we have one variable, we can do the multiple. We have one value, we can check the multiple cases. If y value 10, then this is the high. Y value 20, this is the high too. Now what is the output? I think is the high. Let's see. Let's see the output. High GG. It will go to default because y is the string 10, not the number 10. So that's why it is not this case. It is not this case. If not satisfy any cases, which is not satisfy any cases, it will go to the default case. That's why it will be the GG. For example, if y instead of the string, if you give the number, then it will go to the first statement. Okay, let's see. See high, right? So this is the switch case. This is switch case. This is called conditional statements. Based on some condition, we are executing the some statements. That's why it's called the conditional statements. Now, the important question: somebody there is a let. What is the difference between the let? Differences between the let where const.
Hi Prakash.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah, tell me.
Can you just roll back the switch statement?
Yeah.
In that, can I implement here? Like I can check the data type also of the value.
Yes, yes. For example, I use the y.
Like double equal to and triple equal to.
No. There is no triple equal to. It will check the always. It will check always the triple equal to. It will check always triple equal to. There is no double equal to. Okay. For example, y was string 10. That means, so if it will check only double equal to. The output is high, right? That means value is same, but data type is different. then double equal to will transfer. But if we check the data type also, it will go to default case, right? Let's see the output. So what is output GG? That means it will go to default case. Then what is the meaning? Switch value will always take the triple equal. Switch value always takes the triple equal. Okay? People understand?
Yeah. Is there any way to check double equal to only? No.
No, there is no the switches. Actually, in the recent times, everyone using the triple equal to. Everyone skipping the double equal to. Even some programmings are not allowing the double equals. It will check the triple equal to only. So it is better to use triple equal in all times. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So that is the condition statement. Now I am going to the some important topic, let where constant. Before that, I will tell something like ES and JavaScript. See, ES is called the ECMAScript. JavaScript is ES ECMAScript. ECMAScript is not a programming language. We are not using. Is not a programming language. ECMAScript is a standards. ECMAScript is standards how to write a JavaScript. So there is from 2015 before that they are maintaining the all over world must be JavaScript. You maintain some standards. If you write some JavaScript code, you need to maintain some standards. These standards are specified by the ECMAScript. Okay, ECMAScript provides some standards to write the JavaScript. Okay, the latest version of the ECMAScript is the ES6. Okay, recently they introduced ES6. In the 6th version, they introduced some latest topics in the JavaScript. They introduced some latest topic in the JavaScript. For example, there is new features are there. I will explain the next. I will explain the later. I will explain the 14th topic. Before that, they introduced the length constant. Later they introduced the length and constant. Right? I already told what is the constant. Previously, I told. The constant, if you assign a value, you cannot change that throughout the program. Okay. They already use the let. Let is also like as a variable. Let is also variable. Let is like also same as a variable. It is also same as a variable declaration. Okay. You can also assign a value. Okay. So where equals both are the same. Where and let are the used for the variable declaration assigning the value. Then what is the difference between the let and where? Somebody asked, what is the difference between the let and where? Let's see. Okay. Where x equal to 10. Okay. X equal to 50. Okay. So what is called block? I already told you this is the conditional statement. This is the compound statement. Some set of the statements. This is the block. In the block, I create a variable the where x and I assign the value 15. Then now I comment out of the block. And I comment to the out of the block. Let's see what is the value of x. Now let's see value of the x. 15. So if you use the variable, expression in the where, even in the block, you can use the out of the block also. Now let's instead of the where use the let. You know where x both are same, both are used for the variable expression. Now see difference. The x is not defined. That means this if you define the variable using the let keyword, the scope of that variable only the block level. For example, if you print the control.log here, now here in the 16 it will print the 15, but out of the block it will print the undefined. Let's see. Right? So the scope of the variable, if it is local scope, if you define a variable using the keyword, if you declare a variable using the keyword let, the scope of that variable only, that block only. You cannot use out of this block, that variable. But if you define a variable with the where, you can use that variable out of the block. That is the difference between the let and where. So The scope of the variable let is the local only, local scope. The scope of the variable let variable is the local scope. The scope of the var variable is the global. So global level variables are declared by the var keyword. Local scope variable are declared by the let keyword. This is the difference between the let, var, and constant. Somebody asked the questions, what is the difference between the let, var, and constant? Now, this other topic called hosting concept. What is the hosting concept? Okay. The hosting, what is the hosting means? The declaration of the variable host. What is the hosting concept? I will explain. You know, the JavaScript program runs from the top to bottom. Top to bottom. For example, it is the var x. Okay, var x equal to 10. X, so that means it will check first. It will next this statement is executed. For example, okay. Here actually we are not declared any variable. We are not declaring the variable x. We are not declared the variable x. There is no var x. There is no let x. We directly assign the value 10. Then let's see what is the output. 10. Why? JavaScript thinks if we create a variable, if we not declare the variable but if we assign the variable, JavaScript thinks it will declared by the var keyword. JavaScript assumptions, it will declare the variable x using the var keyword. Okay. And also we can declare after the assigning the value using the var. Declare the after assigning the value. See, this concept is called the hosting. Assigning the value of declaring the variable after assigning using the var keyword is called hosting. So that means JavaScript thinks the x value is something hosted somewhere. JavaScript thinks this x is hosted somewhere in the throughout the program. So that's why it will check the. We can declare the declaration of the variable after the assignment of the variable. We can declare the variable after assignment of the variable also. This is called the hosting concept. Somebody wants what's the hosting concept? The declaration of the variable after assignment of the value. After assignment of the value. Why? JavaScript assumptions. If you assign a value to something, it thinks it's already declared. It's already hosted somewhere throughout the program. This is called the hosting concept. But this is only in case of the var only. For example, if you use the let, what will happen? Let's see. Error. So if we declare the variable after assigning the value using the let keyword, it throws the error. But if we declare the variable after assigning the value after assignment using the var keyword, it is not giving any error. Okay, just remember this is called a hosting concept. Okay, this is called a hosting concept. Now up to I covered. Now control statements. Control statements nothing but the loops. For example, I have a block of statements like control.block hello. Okay, I want to repeat this. I want to repeat control.block hello, control.world. Okay. Here I have two statements. I have the statement. I want to repeat these two statements 3 times. What you will do? You will do 3 again 3 times. If you want 10 times, you will need to do 10 times. This is not meaningful. So for that only, if you want repeat any set of the statements up to particular time, then use the loops. For that loops, we have the for loop and while loop, do while. Okay, for loop. So some set of this set of the statements using the for loop. So here we can write a for. First we are assigning the value. For loop we take the three things. First we assign the value, declare the value, assign the value 0 up to I less than 5. Up to I less than 5, you need to increment. Let's see. If you pick the I value here, let's see. So what this means? Initially, we take the value 5, 0 up to and increment every time. So first time is 0, next time is 1, next time 2, next time 3, next time 4. Up to less than 5 only you can print. After that it will come out. After that it will come out. Okay, after that it will come out. Let's see. So what will you do? This program will execute this, it will print these 3 lines up to the I value 5, up to I value 4. After that, you print the come. Let's see. Right? Allow one. First I value 0. Allow I value 1. Allow 1. I value 2. I value 3. I value 4. After that, you go to the come because up to less than 5 only I want to run this one. Okay? Understand? There is the control statement. Set of the state repeating the set of the statement is called control statements. Okay? Now there is other called while. While I less than 5. Okay? You can increment I every time whereas I equal to 0. So first is 0. So I less than y. So it becomes 1. It will print here. Next again it will go to so 2, 3, 4 up to 5 only it will print. After that one it can't print. See. One more suggestion is don't use the while because sometimes if you by mistake, okay, by mistake if you run like this, that means by mistake if you run if you use this condition, this loop will continue at infinity. So don't use the while. At the time the browser will stuck, the computer will stuck. So don't use the while. So every time you try to use the for or something. Okay. So this is called the while. There is a called do while. Do while means do something. Do something. There is other topic. Do something up to while. Up to this. This is the do while. Both are same. Okay, both are same. So these are called control statements. To repeat some set of the statements up to particular time, we use the control statements. Okay, for control statements we are using the for, while, do while. Okay, this is the topic up to this topic. Next, now go to the functions. So up to these are the basics. Up to this is the one part basic level. Now the functions are the main part. So the functions are the main part. What is the function? Function is used for a set of the work. Some set of the function is like a work. Do that work whenever you want. Do that work, you call that work whenever you want. Okay. For example, I want to declare the variable x. I want to print that variable. Okay. I want to do this work whenever you want. Whenever you want, you work. For example, this set of statements after some set of the lines. There is some. For example, there is multiple lines. Some set of the lines of the code. After set of the lines of the code, again I want this. Again you want to use this one. Okay. Again, if you set up again after set of the codes. Again after some set of the codes, again you want to this code. So you are reusable some set of this task. You have some work. You are calling that work whenever you want. But that's only use the functions. A function is a work. Some set of this task. Whenever you want, you call it function. Whenever you want, you call. But that only, for example, I create a function to function using the function keyword. With the function keyword, I give the name. I give a name to that work. Like print text. I said print text. Now I define a function. This is called function definition. This is called the function definition. I want to call this function whenever you want. If at the time you want to call it function, directly you call that name function name like this. Then it will print automatically. It will call that work. It will call that work. Again, if you want some set of the lines of the code, again you can call just the function call. Then it will execute this all statements in that function, all the tasks in that function. Function is a work, some list of the tasks, some list of the tasks we can call that now we want. For that one, we define a function. This is called a function definition. The function keyword using the function name. You can call the function anyhow we want. This is called a function call. Okay, this is called a function call. So for usable purpose, the functions are useful. So this is the function definition. This is the function call. People understand, right? Now, let me give me one example. I have a worker. For example, we have a worker. I said, bring the vegetables. Go to the market, bring the vegetables. Okay. So then the worker will go directly go and bring the vegetables, or somebody or anything we need to give worker. So you need to give some money to the worker. Then only he will bring the vegetables, right? So to do some work, you need to do some. You need to sometimes we need to give some things. To do some tasks, you need to give something. For example, I want to give. I want to give the some x. I want to print. Okay. For example, you want to write a function to print something. So every time if you call this function, if you call this function, you need to give what you want to print. What you want? I want to print hello. Okay. Again, I want to print world. I want to, for example, I want to print this to along with the. So I want to print this given statement along with this is. So I want to do something, then it will take into the function. So this is hello, this is world. Let's see. So what is the output? This is the hello, this is the world. That means sometimes you need to give something to the function, and function will take that one and do some logic. Function will take something and do that logic. So whatever you want for the function in the function definition is called the function arguments. Whenever you pass it to the function call, these are called the parameters. So here x is the argument, hello, world, these are the parameters. So arguments are what we need to give while defining the function. Parameters are we need to pass while calling this function. So to continue this function, you need to give something. So here x is the argument, hello, world, these are the parameters. So for if you want to do something to do that work, that is called the parameters or arguments. Okay. For example, you have the worker, you give in the money to the worker, asset vegetables. So that is the enough. So you go to the market and bring the vegetables. So if you do some work, something it will return. So the same thing function, sometimes function will return something. Okay. X equal to x plus 1. So I want to write a function. For example, I want to write a function like I give a name like to do. Okay. I want a function. If I want to give any number, it must be adding the number with 10 and return. So for example, to do 5. So what this will do? It will take the 5 plus 10, 15. It will return the 15. Again, if you give the 2 to 20, what is the return? It will take the 20. 20 plus 10, 30 will return. Okay, 30 will return. Right, 30 will return. So we need to put here. Right, so if you see here. So 15, 30, right? So function returning something. Sometimes function returning something. This is called the returning of the function. Once function returning something, after the return statement, nothing will execute it. For example, here I put the console.log hello Here hello not execute. Here hello not print because we are writing the statement after the return statement. If you write after the return statement, it will not take. But if you before the return statement anything, it will take. We use hello here before the returning something, then it will do. Then it will print the hello, right? So that means after return statement, you not to do anything in the function. Return statement is the last line in the function. Okay. So I told the function definition, function call, arguments, parameters, return statements. Function is doing something. Okay. I covered the function definition, function call, function arguments, and also return. Okay. Now, type of the function. Up to these are the some advanced level. Okay. Up to these are the some advanced level. Now we have some type of the functions. Okay. This is a function. Here 2D is a function, right? Okay. Sometimes we can define a function without the name. Here is the function name is to do. Here function name is to do. Okay. For example, if you write this like this, okay. So here is a function, but there is a name. Here is a function. Here is the function, right? Here is a function. There is no name. So the function without name are called the anonymous functions. What are the anonymous function? The functions without name are called the anonymous functions. Okay. Okay. Now there is some function that immediately invoke. For example, let's take the normal function. Say hello.
What is the advantage of anonymous function?
Anonymous function. What is the advantage of anonymous function? Means it does not take the memory. It does not take the memory location. Okay. It does not take the memory location. It will take the only to store the function definition. Okay. Let's see. I will tell you. So here, what is the value of x? What is the value of x? It will store this function definition. Sorry, y. What is the value of y? Sorry. It will store the total function, right? There is no name. So the memory allocation is the less for the anonymous function. The memory allocation is the less, and also it will not consumption the memory. Okay, it will call whenever you want. You understand, right? Hello?
Yes.
It will hold the function handler. There is no name. You can give any name, right? So now if you call, do you think the name of the function is y, right? You can think the name of the function is y, but it is not the correct way. So we can give some dynamic names for that function. Okay. So this is the anonymous function. For example, I have a function. Okay. So is this function execute now? When we run this one, it will be this function execute now? No, right? Whenever you call, then only this function. Whenever you call, then only this function execute. Whenever you call, then only it will invoke. Then only it will invoke. But some functions are invoked immediately after define. Some, for example, function. This is the function. Let's see what happened. Something to see. Function. Oh, yeah. I read. So this function is define and immediately it will call. Define the function, immediately it will call. These are called the immediate IIFE. That is IIFE means immediately invoked function expressions. What is the IIFE means? Immediately invoked function expressions means defining the function at the same time it was invoking, it was calling. This is called the IIFE. Okay. This is called the IIFE, immediately invoke the function. Okay. So I said the anomalous function, normal function, IIFE. That is called a callback function. For example, there is one function. There is another function like do something. For the function, we can pass the arguments, not only numbers. We can pass the function handlers also. Function handlers nothing but the function name. That means, for example, x comma y comma s comma y. Okay. Console.log x plus y. Okay. Now I calling the function do something. Okay. Here I am passing the 2 comma 3. Here I am passing the 2 comma 3. And what is the output? 2 plus 5. 5 is the output, right? 5. Now here I am passing the STD. Okay. Here I add something like this. So here first argument is the number, second argument is the function handler. So function handler, okay, function handler. Second argument is the function. First argument is function. Second argument is the function. First argument is the number. Second argument is the function handler. Okay. So then what is the output? 2. Second is 2. 2 plus 2 4. 4. So sometimes we can call a function as an argument to the other function. We call a function as argument to the other function. Then that function is called the callback function. Here test function is the callback function. We are passing this function as an argument to the other function. As an argument to the other function. So here test is the callback function. The function which takes the argument, the other function as argument, that is called the higher order function. The function which takes the function as the argument, that is called higher order function. Here do sum is the higher order because it takes the function handled as an argument. Here test is the callback function because you can pass the function as the argument to the other function. As the argument to the other function, right? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
You understand, right? So this is a callback function, these are the hierarchy function. This is callback function, these are the hierarchy function. Okay. So I said the numbers IIFE hierarchy called arrow function. Arrow function also nothing latest ESX feature. Okay. For example, I have the function test I have the function x. I am returning the x plus 2. This is the normal function. This is the normal function. Okay. We can same function we can normal function we have the arrow function like test like constant test equal to parenthesis arrow and curly brackets. So here is x and returning right? This is the arrow function. This is the same normal function. We can write this in this way. We can write this way. This is the arrow function. So parenthesis, arrow, curly brackets between the, here we write the statements. This is the arrow function. Okay. So in the ES features, use the arrow function. It takes the less code, less lines of the code, and it will. There is other use this context. It is useful in the arrow function, not in the normal function. Okay. This is for the arrow function. Now, lexical scope closures. Let's tell you some examples. Lexical scope. For example, I have the function. I define the function where x is equal to 10. I have the inner function. In the function, I have the inner function. Okay. Like inner, I have the inner. Okay, here for y equal to 10. Here the scope of the x only this function only, but not for the inner function. Sorry. Here the scope of the y only for the inner function. Okay, but not for the test function, the outer function. But you can handle the outer function variable into the inner function. So here you can use the x variable. You can use the outside variable. You can use the outside variable. You can use the outside variable. So the inner function has the access of the outer functions variable. This is called the closures. The inner functions have the access outer functions variables. These are called the closures. Because why closures are using? Closures are using for the data privacy purpose. For example, you have the employee. You want to disclose the employee salary directly. For example, you directly put the salary here. You can directly call that x. Instead of that, you can call it some inner function. Through that inner function, you can get the salary of that employee. So for that, at the time, you use the closures. So the inner function have the access to the outer function variable. Okay, so the inner function will do the calculate the something for the salary and it will return. So the inner function which has the access to the outer function variables, those are called the closures. Okay. Now, string methods, array methods, etc. Okay, for example, we have the string. We have the string. Okay. For every string, it is like an object. For a string is like that means it has some properties, some methods. For example, take an example. Take an object. Take a user object. So name equal to Raj. Okay. Get name is the get name is the function. Get score. Return. Here user is the object. The user has the object. User has the name. It is the property. Get the score. It is a function. So the object contains the variables and function, property and methods. Here name is the property of the user. Get score is the method, nothing but a function of the user. So user.name, it will print the Raj. User.get score. It is the method. So the object contains the properties and methods. Like the same way, string also an object. It has some default, always some they are defined some properties, some methods. For example, x.length. So here is a length property for the string, which will return the number of the letters in the string. the number of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, what is the number of letters? I think 9, 11. So here in this string we have. So every string has the property length. It will return the letters, number of the letters in the string. At the same time, string has the some methods. String has at the same time string has some methods. For example, x dot character. That is nothing but the function. Some functions have give the parameters. So this character function is the position of. So it will return what is the letter in the x string at the position 3. So 0, 1, 2, L, right? Character is not a function. Something is not. Chart, I think this one. 1, L, right? So there is a function called caret. So understood? Okay. The function is called caret. It will take the position of the. So if it will take the position of the position, so this character position will return the what is the character at this position. This is the one of the string methods. There is others called like for example, var y is equal to good. Okay. I want to concat of these two string variables. Okay, x plus y. So what it will concatenating these two variables. Hello world good. Okay, let's see. Hello world good. So concatenating of two variables we use like this. Otherwise we can use like x dot concat. So x dot concat. So we use the concat method to add the multiple, and also we can use the dot concat. Again that concat. Okay, again you do something. You can do something. Okay. So this is the concat method. So this is the. So I explain the length concat caret split to split. Split means I want to. I have a string. I have a string. I want to split the string at a particular space. I want to split this string at space. Then it will return the array. Then it will return the array. So split method will split the string at particular character. So here I give the space. That means split the string at space. So I split the string at space. Then I will get the array of two elements like hello world. Let's see. Hello world. So somebody asked how to convert string to array. String to array. Then I will say I will split the string at particular character. So you give the string space. It is split at the space. If you are not giving anything, it will split every letter. Then with every letter. Let's see. Here it is split H to split the every letter, right? It is splitting the every letter, right? So if you are not giving for the split function, then the string will convert to the array. Every letter will as an element of the array. That is split method. Okay. Now I want to convert all these. Sometimes I want these are the uppercase, lowercase. H is a capital, W is a capital, divide the small. I want totally to capital letters. Then I use the two uppercase. Okay, two uppercase methods there. Two uppercase. Okay, two uppercase method. Then it will convert all the capital letters. Let's see, all capital letters. If you want all the small letters, then use the two lowercase. Okay. All lowercase. So like this length character split tool. So there is some more methods you need to practice yourself. Now coming to the point, arrow methods. Okay, arrow method. For example, you have the array. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Or you have the this array also has some properties, some methods. Okay, whereas arrow has the length property. String also has a length property. What is the length property of string? It will return the number of the letters in the string. Okay. If you use the length property for the array, it will return the number of the elements in the array. Here we have the elements of 1, hello, 34. So 4 elements are there. So then length will return the 4. Right? Then length will return the 4. Okay. So length property will return the number of the elements in the array. Now I have the other array called y.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Huh?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Indexing and length is different.
Indexing?
Indexing and length is different.
Yeah, indexing length is different. Length means it gives the total number of the elements in the array. Okay. I will tell you. So your question is there is an index of there is a function called index of. Index means the position of the element. The position of the hello element is, what is the position of the hello element? 0, right? What is the position of 30 element? 1. 0 position, first position, second position, third position. That is the index. Position is called the index. Length gives the total number of the elements. Okay. Or I use the index of 30. Okay. So what is the output? So it will give the position of that value. So it will check in the X array, 30 value is there. Yes, is there. What is the position? 0, 1. So then it will return the 1. Okay. So it will give the index of the position of the element. Okay. If there is no element, for example, I give the 100. So first you check the X 100 is not in the X array. So there is no position. Then it will return the -1. Then it will return the -1. Okay. So if we want to position of an element, you use the index of function. Index of function will return the -1 when if there is no element in that array. So somebody asked how to check an element exists in that array. Then you use the index of function. So index of if it will return -1, that means it is not in that array. If you return something greater than -1, that means that element in that array. Okay, that's the index of method. It is called index of method. Okay, at the same time, there is a concatenation, same as the concatenation of strings. It is also same as the concatenation of the arrays. Okay, now there is a call join. There is called toString. Okay, toString. So to convert the array into string, So this array this array converting into string like comma separator. See, comma separator. Okay, we want to convert the string with the at the rate separator. Okay, then it will return the now I want to string with the at the rate concatenation. Then we use the join function. It's a toString. I use the join. So join method it will concat all the elements with a character and with a string. Let's see. Right? Okay. If you are not giving, if you give the hash, it will be coming with the hash. Right? If you are not giving anything, the total will give the string. See. So for join function also to convert the array to string. Okay. So these are some array methods. These are called some array. We need to practice some tasks on the array method string functions. Like I have a string. I want to reverse to that string. There is no reverse of string function. Then how can you do? Okay. This type of practice you need to do. Okay. And now there are some important array methods. They are most useful. Those are called map, filter, find. Okay. For example, I want to loop this array. You know, use the for array is very complex. Instead of that, we have the X map. So map will take the arrow function as the argument. Arrow function. If you give the arrow function like this. Now, if you give anything, so every time. So what will the map function will do? So what will map function will do, right? It will take every element in the array and apply some logic, on that one, and give the new array. Okay, then see what is the output. Five comma 10, 15. So we have the 5 comma 10, 15 array. So map function will do taking the every element from the array, and applying something. So here map function doing taking every element and multiplying with 2 and returning. So first time take the 5 into 2, 10 return. Next time is 10 into 2, 20 return. Next time is 15 into 2 return. So then now the output is 10, 20, 30, right? See 10, 20, 30. So taking every element from the array and applying something, that will be the map function. Okay, map function. Now there is a function called filter. Filter method will do filtering some arrays based on the condition. For example, I want to return if the element is divided by 2. Divided by 2 equal to 0. If this condition stands known, that elements will return. So first step, y is taken. First is take the 5. 5 by 2 is not equal to 0. Is not taking the 5. 10 by 2 equal to 0. So then it take the 10. 15 by 2 is not the 0. So the final output is the 10 only. So it is filtering the array based on the condition. Not sorry, I think it will use like this. You do not do it.
Sir, method is map.
Oh, sorry. Okay. It is filter. Okay. Correct. Filter is filter. So I am filtering the array with this condition. I am not printing the y. That's it. So 10. So filter is filtering the array of elements based on some condition. So based on some condition, filtering the array gives or return a new array. This is called the find. Actually, if you use the filter, it will return the array like 10, 30, 24, right? For this condition. Okay. Otherwise, for example, if I use this condition, it will return 30, 24, right? 30, 24, right? 30, 50, 24, it is getting 10. It is getting 10. If you use the find, it will return the first element. It will return the first element which satisfies the condition. The first element is 30. 30 is satisfying the condition. First element. Then it will return the 30. Okay. If you use the sum, it will tell the condition is satisfying or not. Even one element is satisfied, it will return the 2. It will return the 2. So because 30 is there, 15, 34 is there, 15 is there. For example, if I use some function here, I use the 4. What is the output? False, because there is no element in the X array to satisfy this condition. There is no one element also. That's why it will the false. Okay. So array map filter find sum. A map will apply some functionality on every element of the array. Filter will do filtering the array of elements based on the some condition. Find function returning first element which satisfying the condition. Some method will return true or false. It will return true if the at least one element is satisfying the condition. Otherwise, it will return the false. Okay, these are some arrays. There is a method called reduce. What will reduce do? This reduce will do. This reduce will take the first two arguments and doing something and taking this output and taking the other argument. So here first two argument 5 comma 10, 5 into 10, 50. Next time we take the 50 is the x, second argument next element 30, 50 into 30. Like this it will go into from left to right. So this is for the reduce method. So it will return so multiplication of the all array elements like 5 into 10, then into 30, then into 15, then into 24. Okay, to apply a function from left to right side of the for the whole elements to apply a function combination of the whole elements that use the reduce. If we want to apply some logic individually, then use the map. So these are called the array methods. These are called the array methods like map, filter, find, sum, reduce, sort. Okay, these are called array methods. ESX features. Now the most important topic ESX. ESX is the latestly they introduce some features in JavaScript. I already told let constant told array function told destruction. What is destruction? Destruction means, for example, I have the array. Okay, destruction means like this, like let a comma b equal to x. So what it will do is it will take every element and put into separate variable. Now a is a variable and some value. Let's see. A is the two-headed. So here we are destructing the x array into separate variables. We are destructing the array to separate variable. So this is destructing of the array. For example, you have the multiple lot of data. So you want to you have a lot of data. If you want to store the separate variable, then we will destructing of the array. At the same time, we have the destructing of the object also. We are destructing of the object also. Like x10, y comma 10. So here we are using destructing of the a10, b10. Okay, so we can destructing the object like this a comma b. So if you take the value, keys as the variables. Variable as the value, as the value, keys as the variables. This is called destruction of the variables. Okay, this is called the destruction of the object. Destruction of the object. Now there is a called rest operator, spend operator. For example, I have the function test. Okay. Now next topic is destruction. I told let constant array function. Now I'm taking the destruction. Now I'm telling test operator, spend operator. I have the function. I want to multiple number of the arguments. For example, I said the n number of args. Okay. So now I want to args. So you have function. You don't know how many number of function arguments you want to pass. For example, I pass 1 comma 2. Okay. You can pass the 1 comma 2 comma 3 and 5. Then so you can pass the multiple number of the n number of arguments, any number of the arguments. So then you use the spread operator. Spread operator is the triple dots. So here this triple dot args contains the what are the elements you are passing to an array. Let's see. See, we are passing 1 comma 2. This 1 comma 2 is taken as the array. So if you come 1 comma 2 comma 5 is taken as the array. That's why you cut the output like. So this is the spread operator. Sometimes we use the initial variable. So here first variable is the 1, remaining are taken as the array. So it will return the 1, a is the 1, 2 comma 3 only. This is the 2 comma 3. This is the rest operator. So spread operator is the whole number of the arguments. Rest operator is remaining arguments. Rest operator. So for rest operator using the triple dots. So if you want to pass n number of arguments, you use the spread operator or rest operator. This is the first thing. Second thing. I have an array 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay. I have an array b. I am giving the b is equal to a. No, b I have the 1 comma 3 comma 4. Now I want to push the variable 5. Now what is the output of A? So you change the B only, but you think A is not changed. But let's see. So A also changing. So if you take an array and assign to other variable, if you assign the value, the original value also same. Here it is not the clone, it is the clone of the variable, it is the copy of the array. You take the position of the memory location of that array. So if you change the new array, old array also change. Then how can you take the old array and new array? For that one, okay, I use the let B is equal to like this. Okay, now these are the push of A. Push of 5. So now I think A is not changed. Let's see. Say A is not changed. So if you assign the array directly, it will change. But if you assign hello? If you assign the new, if you assign the new if you using spread operator, it will not change the original value. It will change the only new value. So for that only using the spread operator. And also directly you can add a new value here. So that means B is taking the A array and also adding with the 5. So if it print the B, so along with the 1, 2, 3, 5, take the 5. That is. So for this also use the rest operator. The same thing, it is same for the objects also. We can add the new object. We can add the new key value also. We can take the copy of the object and we can assign if we change the new object, it's not changed. So this is the use of the spread operator, rest operator. Okay, if you want the old array, new array, the concept. If you change the new array, old array must not be changed. In that cases, you use the spread operator, rest operator. Okay, so all these are the yes features. Okay. Now I will tell the some point questions. Call, append, bind. Somebody asked what are the difference between the call, append, bind. Okay. Let's see. I have a function user. Okay. I have the name Ravi. This is the object. Okay. I have the function get name. I have the function get name. It will print console.log of whatever passing that one x plus this dot name. Now I have a function. I want to call this function for this object. I want to call this function for this object. Then I use the call method. Get name of call for which object you are calling for user object. Okay, and you need to pass the one argument x or something. I want to pass 2 arguments. Okay, if I pass the hello here, hello. Please mute. Okay, here we are applying the get name function. We are calling get name for this object and passing the 2 arguments hello world. So we are calling the get name function for the user object and passing the 2 variables and passing the 2 new variables, 2 arguments. Then it will give the hello. Actually, the hello this name Ravi welcome. Hello Ravi welcome. See. Hello Ravi welcome. If I use the other object, there is other object. Okay, other user object. If I want to apply this get name method, if I want to apply this get name method for the other object, user one object, right? I am applying the user one object now. So then it will print Gopal, hello Gopal world. First is the running, second is the open. So you can apply any function for any object. Okay. If you want to pass the apply, if you want to call a function to an object, if you can pass the parameters comma separated, then use a call. If you want to parameters as the array, you want to pass an array, then you use the apply. Then you use the apply. So what is the difference between call and apply? You can apply a function on an object. If you are passing the arguments as comma separated in the call method. You can pass the arguments as an array for the apply method. Okay. That's it. Then what is the bind? Bind is it will not call. It will take the only function definition. It will not call. It will return the function definition. So where by? So y is called, then only it will call. Then only it will call. Then only it will call. So that means what that means? Is the plain number of arguments here. So here you need to pass this argument here for the y function. Oh. Okay, so call and apply will call the same when we call and apply, it will execute the function. But the bind function will return the function, we can call anywhere we can. So that is so to apply a function on an object, use the call, apply and bind functions. Last but not the least, we have topic Java's interaction with HTML. For example, I have the div element in this div element. Okay, I will give the name ID like main. Hello world. Now I have the HTML element. I want to change the content of this element. So for that one, I create a function. Okay. To handle any element, we use the document dot get element by ID. Get element by ID. So here ID I give the main, right? Main. I use the main function here. So and I'm changing the inner content. So here I got up to here I got this div element. This div element. Now I want to change content. Use some name here. Okay. Now I want to change this content, right? So for that one, I change the inner HTML properties there. Inner HTML equal to change. Okay. Now I write a function taking this element and change this value, but I'm not calling this function. I want this function when click a button. Okay, I have the button. For this button, I just change value. Okay, something. Okay, when we click this button, I want to call that function. For that one, I use the key events. See, more on click, most events. So we have on click, on blur, on hover, on key up, on key down. There are key events, most events are there. But for every event, we need to call some function. Okay. Now for on click, I'm calling this function. Okay. So,
Sir,
yeah.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can we create custom events like on Sora, on Hello?
No, so we can create, but we can, but that event, first event, custom key up, click event, add event. We have a function called add event listener. Okay, using that one you can create. Okay, add event listeners. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So when we click the button, you will change the value. Okay. So if you click this function, the value must be changed. See, right? So this is now we are interacting with JavaScript with the HTML. So here we use document get element by ID, document by class names, tag name. In this way, we can interact the JavaScript with the HTML. So all these are the topics I covered till now. Okay, these are the topics I covered. So these are the main concepts in the JavaScript, complete JavaScript, this topic. Okay, this is the class over today. Tomorrow I conduct a class for interview questions. So whole 1.5 hour tomorrow. In recent times, what are the interview questions they are asking for the JavaScript? I will prepare the 10 to 15 questions and I will explain in tomorrow class. Tomorrow class is also so important. Okay, maybe tomorrow I will schedule live event. Okay, tomorrow is the tomorrow JavaScript classes are over. Tomorrow is last class for the interview process for the JavaScript. Tomorrow is last for the JavaScript. From Monday onwards, we are planning to do training Angular or React. Okay, I have a group. I will give my name. I will give a number 7846. I will give a number. My name 7842713812. This is my number. Please note down and send your. And also I have the PUD records. Okay. So tell what class you want first. You want Angular or React? If you want Angular, I will start the Angular first. I will start the Angular classes from the Monday, and I will prepare some structure for the classes. Maybe 15 days classes for Angular. Okay, 15 days class for the Angular. There is some minimum fees. I'll prepare some structure. Okay, if anyone interested, please ping to my group or ping to my number by email. Add the so many numbers. It's so useful. Okay, there is not much more fees, one less fees. From the Monday onwards, we are starting the Angular classes. Okay. Thanks, guys. Any questions?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Yeah, that's it for today class. Complete JavaScript. Thanks. I'm stopping the class. Yeah.